Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, Heupel about to hand out roses in the portal, that's for sure. We're going to have to replace some players. We've got 2 running backs that have entered the transfer portal, 2 wide receivers as well. Holiday and Callaway for the wide receivers, and then Lenneth Whitehead and Justin Williams Thomas, 2 running backs. So they're going to have to fill those spots for sure, and I don't think that's the end of it. I think most teams are going to see double-digit players leave because, look, they're not getting to play enough. And I understand that perfectly. It's not the coach's fault. It's not the player's fault. It's just an issue of talent and one football. So, if you've got a bunch of talented guys that can't get on the field, they're going to find a place where they can get on the field. So I don't, it's hard to fault anybody for that situation. And I'm sure many of the coaches are sitting down and saying, look, young man, you're not going to get to play here in any significant way. You might want to consider the transfer portal. And that's what they're doing. So that's why Josh Heupel is going to be handing out roses. And, I'm sure there's going to be NIL money involved on some separate issue that can't be done by the coach, obviously. And we're going to talk about bowl game. And I brought in a friend along with my brother Chilmont. My other brother Daryl is on a trip right now.
Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. That's my other brother Daryl.
But we've got a fill-in tonight, Byroni from Fairways and Greens. A really good golfer. He's one of those golfers that'll shoot 2 under for 16 holes, but winds up shooting 75 for some reason. He always has a bad hole or two, but he plays great most of the time. So anyway, he's going to be on tonight as well.
Well, first of all, we've got the Vols basketball, and they're whooping up on McNeese State, which is no big shock to anybody. They're really good. Man, they're really good.
Yeah, defense is playing great.
Yeah, they whooped up on Kansas like they were nothing.
Yeah, beat their brains out.
Yep. Once again, Rick Barnes has got the talent, and they're well coached, as always. That's the thing about Barnes, man. He's a good, solid coach.
Yeah, he's always going to get the defense playing hard. I think the key to this team this year I really think it's going to be Phillips, the freshman. We need to have a guy. We haven't really had a guy. And maybe maybe Triple J is going to be that guy, but we haven't seen much of him. But we need a guy who, when we need a bucket, he can go get a bucket.
Well, he's played 3 games. He's got a knee issue.
Yeah. I mean, since that injury, he's not played at all, has he?
He tried to a couple of games, and then I think it started swelling on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're probably being real cautious with him.
Yeah, he doesn't need to see the floor then until we get into SEC play.
Could be.
No.
Yeah, just let him heal.
Well, they've got another scorer with this key. This key guy's really good.
I call him Church League.
Phillips.
He looks like a Church League player.
He does. He doesn't look like he's in good shape, does he?
Yeah, he's 30. I just call him Church League. He's a 35-year-old Church League player.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he does much, but he scores it, and you underestimate him. He doesn't look like a player.
He's in the Joshua class at Baptist Church.
Scores 35 a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can fill it up, man. He can play. First time I saw him, I said, man, he looks like he's not in very good shape.
Yeah.
He probably is. He's probably in great shape.
Yeah, he looks old.
Yeah.
He does.
All right. Well, let's talk about the transfer portal. We've got all kinds of things going on with the transfer portal. We've got 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs that have entered the transfer portal for Tennessee. Oh, let's see. The wide receivers are Holiday and Callaway, and the running backs are the guy with 3 names and the other guy, Lenneth Whitehead, who was hurt.
Okay.
So we got to pick up 2 running backs in the transfer portal, and we've got to pick up 2 wide receivers just to replace those spots.
Who was it? Lynn J. Dixon's one of the running backs?
No, he didn't make it. Remember, he was.
Yeah, I thought he got cut. Yeah,
he got cut. No, it's he's got 3 names: Justin's, Williams, Thomas. So that's the 2 running backs, and that's the 2 wide receivers that are leaving. Which they didn't get to play. I don't blame them; they didn't get to play.
Yeah.
We need a big bruising running back. Who we need to hold on to is Jackson for a backup quarterback. So we'll have Milton Jackson and Nico. I think we'll be fine there. I think Jackson has some ability. It's just convincing him to stay.
Tavon, I have not seen enough of Tavon to know that he's any good. He might be really good. He was a 4-star, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's good, and I think, you know, I'm curious to see what Milton does in the bowl game, because I don't know if you guys, you know, what he played in. I mean, heavy winds and rain. The next day, that storm blew through here in Knoxville and blew a tree down. You know,
Yeah,
so,
it
I mean,
was
he
bad.
said, you're saying, okay, he's going to throw it 65 yards in the air and miss it by 5 feet and 20-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, as a golfer, you know, it's impossible playing the wind. You get that ball going there. I want to see him in a bowl game. You know, it looks like we might play in the Cotton Bowl now, and, you know, some controlled environment.
In the dome.
How it does.
Byron, you don't know, on this channel, I don't allow common sense. So that entire conversation that you just had and comment will be stricken from the record.
No.
Because I can't allow any reasonable comment to be to
You
stay.
cannot. I mean, the throw to Fant, he was off a foot.
That's 1 foot too much.
But in 20-mile-an-hour winds, it's like I was in there watching. I was at the Masters one year at 13, and we see Luke Donald try to go for the green and 2, and he pulls it up into the flowers, and this lady in front of me turns to her husband and goes, "Why'd he hit it there?" He wasn't trying to hit it there. You know, when you get that ball flying in that wind, I think it's I don't think you can fairly judge him. I think I don't think it'll be I don't think a fair judgment will be until a bowl game. So I'm not jury's still out for me on him.
Okay, well, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the jury still being out. But what I'm not saying is, I don't want to get into the 3rd or 4th game and we're 2-2, and it's just not working. I think Josh Heupel and the boys will figure it out quicker than that. And if so, then you're either going to probably see Jackson, if he stays, or Nico, or they might go into the transfer portal for a quarterback. You never know.
I mean, what the problem is, are you going to get a good transfer coming? What kind of transfer are you going to get coming when you see Nico's right there to step in line? And
maybe a 5th-year senior that thinks he can beat out Joe Milton. But who wants to do that? If you're that good, like the Texas guy, there's a guy at Texas that's real good that got beat out.
He's a sophomore, though. He's not going to come here. Hudson Card, I don't know if he's willing to stay.
Yeah, you're probably right about. I wouldn't if I was a sophomore. You're right. I was thinking he was older than that.
I think he's a sophomore this year. I think he's got 2 more years.
Well, if Jackson leaves, I guarantee you're going to have to get another quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the biggest key right there, is to convince Jackson to stay.
And I'm sure they'll try to, because
he was highly rated. I don't remember if he was a 4-star.
Was he a Heupel recruit? Wasn't he a Heupel recruit?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, they like him. He says they like him, but, you know, who knows if that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Well, he could still beat out Milton. You never know.
Yeah.
Going into next year. I hope we don't have to start Nico at some point to next year. Would be nice if we could keep him for a year and let him develop a little bit and all that. But I just hope we don't see him next year. You know what I mean?
Man, it's hard.
I think it'd be great if he earned it, though. If he's good enough, it's not have to start him. It's like we can't keep him on the bench. He's so good.
I'm talking about if they start Milton and then all of a sudden he starts losing, or Jackson and he starts not playing well, and then to say, okay, well, we're going to have to go to our 3rd option and unwillingly start him. And, you know, then he gets thrown to the wolves. But yeah, hopefully he might have a season anyway, and then get some mop-up duty along the way and see how he handles that. And but yeah, the big thing is we need to try to pull in some from A&M if we can, with all the issues they've had. And I don't know about a quarterback, but it's definitely there's some defenders there, maybe a running back, you know, where there's been issues, because they underachieved big time this year, and they reportedly had a lot of in trouble in the locker room too, didn't they?
There's going to be a ton of players out there on this first big year of it I think this is going to be the epic first year of the transfer portal.
Yeah, there's bound to be some good choices there that especially with better teams, they just didn't get to play because they got recruited over, or they just have more experienced talent ahead of them.
Yeah, I'm with Wilmot there. I think that I think you could get some good defensive players who are buried in the depth chart, say Georgia or Alabama.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get some from Georgia too. They've got some very good players sitting on the bench,
especially receivers, running backs, anybody playing offense. This offense is so attractive.
Yes, I agree with that. You're right about that.
Or the big key for us though is I think Heupel's able to make 3 stars look like 5 stars. I think the big thing is getting depth in that defense, getting speed in the outside, getting speed on the edges, get some safeties. I think where we really need, when we got some good secondary commitments, I think we really need some people to step in here for the next year or two. Transfers, JUCOs, I don't know what they have on the burner, but that is the utmost importance for me, is getting some help in the secondary and on the edges.
Agree. And South Carolina exposed us big time on that.
Who didn't except Vanderbilt? Everybody
exposed us, but they exposed us worse than anybody except Georgia. But we're too slow. We can't cover anybody.
I think a lot of it. I mean, that's just going to be that's the thing you're going to have to deal with, though, because our offense is so explosive. We're going to get out to and we're fast starting. We tend to get out to a 2-score lead early in the first quarter. So a lot of these teams are going to abandon the run and start throwing on you. And the way the rules are written and the way the offenses are, it's so hard to defend the pass. The big thing is getting some speed out there and getting some depth so we can, just all you need is a stop or two, really. Stop or two a half, and you're fine. And so just getting off the field, getting some edge rush, get some rush on. I think Rodney Garner's done a great job with that line.
Yeah,
but we really need depth in that secondary. That's our biggest problem, I believe.
Yeah. They need to pull out some NIL money and get some safety help for sure. We need safety help, something awful. I'm sorry. We don't have any shutdown corners. We don't.
And we got nobody can cover man to man.
No, we need some.
Other than that, we're great. Other than
other than we can't stop their best players, we're fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about the offense. I think the offense is going to be fine. We need a few more tools there, like you mentioned, the wide receivers and everything. But man, if we could just shore up the defense a little bit, not a ton. It turned out Banks was such a big loss for the South Carolina game. What if he's out there and makes a couple of stops?
Yeah,
just a couple.
You get a couple of stops, that momentum just went crazy for them.
And then we score again, and then instead of them scoring, and I still think we get beat, but it's probably a heck of a lot closer game.
The game is so emotional and so momentum driven that you get the pendulum swinging one way, and then you get that team doubting itself. They just got the momentum and kept going, and you could see it spiraling out of control. So does one man just on paper make a difference? No, but the whole atmosphere, missing him, the whole whatever was going on there.
And who knows about that?
Who knows what would happen? I mean, you just don't know. It's like the story of a butterfly flapping its wings causing a tsunami the other part of the world. So you just don't know. But I think the defense is of utmost importance, because we just need, if we get a couple of stops each half, that's basically all our offense needs, really.
Yeah, because we're going to outscore everybody. We're going to get our 35, 40 points, 40, maybe 50. And
we still scored 38 against them.
I know.
Jeremy Banks sets a tone. He just does. I don't really want to say that because I'm still a little bit mad at him for causing trouble. But the guy sets a tone. He knocks the crap out of people. He is a dog back there. And when he hits you, you've been hit. And he plays smart, man. He played great against Vanderbilt. He almost had a pick six. He was all over the field, and he's been doing that all year.
He's the alpha dog he's definitely the alpha dog on the defense.
Oh, without question.
You miss that.
Well, and plus he's calling a lot of the plays, isn't he? And he's the middle linebacker, isn't he calling a lot of plays?
Oh yeah, he gets everybody lined up. He's the heartbeat of it. So I mean,
that's what he was doing at Vanderbilt. He was moving guys around and doing all this, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh man, he's important."
Yeah. Are you going to Photoshop some hair on me so I
yes,
can?
I'll put a rug on you. I'll put like a spike.
I do not have. This is not a Paul Feinbaum fake head. This is the real
fake
deal.
thing like John has.
Yeah.
I'll put my Paul Feinbaum on if you keep it up. Have you seen my Paul Feinbaum?
Yeah, I had a little plastic hair thing. I went as Walt for Halloween one year. I dressed up as Walt.
Did he go?
He starts laughing like Mickey.
What else y'all want to discuss?
Bowl game.
Bowl game.
Which one are we getting?
Probably orange, unless Ohio State creaks us.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Byron?
that's what's going to happen. You not hear the news that the Rose Bowl has the option if there are multiple teams within a cluster ranking. They don't have to take the highest ranked Big Ten team. So Ohio State is 5th, Penn State is 8th. Ohio State only sold out 12,000 of their 20,000 allotment last year. They've gone 2 of the last 4 years. So it looks like the Rose Bowl is going to take Penn State, because it has not been to the Rose Bowl in 6 years, to sell it out. Then that would give the Orange Bowl the option to take Ohio State to match them up against Clemson or North Carolina. And we would drop further down to probably the Cotton Bowl to face the winner of Tulane and UCF.
Yeah! Okay, you can own me.
Good
So
Lord.
it's going to be, and it's going to, the Orange Bowl's a primetime game against, would be great to be against Clemson, right there, bad blood. Instead, we're going to have
bad blood.
and then you're going to have to go play. Now you're playing a team where it's the classic thing you see in these New Year's Six games. The group of 5 team that gets in this is their Super Bowl. So they're coming in fired up, and it's usually a team like us who had a disappointment, just sort of limping in there. So it just sets you up for
another South Carolina.
Yeah, it's like going to play the Music City Bowl again. Playing Purdue. Yeah, it's the Big Six. It's the New Year's Six Music City Bowl is what we'd be playing in.
They're going to get involved in creak us because they don't like anybody SEC anyway, unless you're Alabama or Georgia. They don't feel like you deserve it. So
you can see that from the latest CFP. They put Alabama ahead of us. Who won the head-to-head with Alabama, by the way? Tennessee, Alabama? I can't remember. Who was that? Oh, yeah, Tennessee.
Shut up!
Yeah.
They do.
They're a bunch of refs. They're probably ex-referees. They hate us, too.
All right, folks, just wanted to kind of put a video together where we talked about all the issues involving the Vols and, of course, the basketball game and, of course, basketball as well. Tried to put everything into this video and discuss it with my friends. Anyway, and discuss it with some people that are very knowledgeable about it and spend a lot of time watching it. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols, the SEC, all the good things about college sports. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.